The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioner were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what's the business do you have with me? Despite it, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me, and start my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad with his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofing looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck was it? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from its expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker. Starting with yours, Mayabara-san, and quite a few of your classmates that signed as well. Huh? This is Tomitake-san. There's no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. And do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had an idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's the lady who was with Tomitake-san the last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of Watanagashi we spoke. They seem pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for very little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that with silence in kind. I was pretty certain this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomitake-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Mayabara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. Pretty terrible at hiding things. Probably showed on my face. Not at all. If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitake-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing. The accidental death. Death by illness followed by suicide. And the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happened the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitake-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that, well, curse, Mayabara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it, as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to be clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So, what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could we get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. Oh shit! Tomitake is dead? My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tomitake-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Mayabara-san? Implications? Not any of that Not any for the clues of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi. Meaning this year, the curse of Oriya Shirosama has once again. The death of Jiro Tomitake is still coincidental. Confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather particular. Okay, nope. This fucking music needs to stop this shit right now. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It's a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to listen to something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. Don't tell me. One of the patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from the security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder around there. There were a few street lights on that road. It was pitch black darkness, was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first. But when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. Oh! Oh god, no. Oh, this music, this sound effects and music is creeping me the fuck out, man. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was his own nails. What is that? What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder. It was a suicide. Tomitake-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could with his own nails, tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tomitake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing. Even with enough intensity that it could have peeled off his own nails, still clawing. Still clawing. Then as his nails reached those vital arteries that should never damage, he continues clawing. Splurt. Blood spattered on the ground around him. Oh god. I wanted the horror part, but I didn't want this fucking gross details. As he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of the nature was detected. But it was suicide. Never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died, in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomitake-san, who'd proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. You can test that? What? How? Oh, I guess if there's a bunch of, adrenaline in your blood. Okay, well, that part makes sense. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing their own throat out. Yeah, I would be freaking out just a little. Wounds on his hands match a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and guardrails with it. Tomitake-san's blood was found all over the place. Meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted discovered on Tomitake-san. There's a high probability Tomitake-san was assaulted. No shit! Usually people just don't start fucking swinging around a piece of lumber and start clawing at his goddamn throat. What the fuck? Great fucking police work there, you motherfucker. The external injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects. Ugh. To summarize, Tomitake-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then, he died. Oh, thank God they got rid of that fucking creepy-ass music. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake-san at the festival. Everyone signaled Tomitake's shirt, then parted ways. Signed. Okay. Right after that... Oops. Right after that... Oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up for work, and she hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that was something unfortunate happening to someone close to me. What it could affect me this deeply. The time I'd spent with Tomitake-san was short. But we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitake-san's the outsider telling me. So that's why you'd come to me. Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa. I should have been angry that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off into the distance. The night of Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake-san. Tomitake-san had have been killed by humans in a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, Mayabara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitake-san nor I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year. Which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There is no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there is something I can do to help. There's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No, if you see or hear anything that draws your attention, then that is enough. I see or hear, he was talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumors, anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. Handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whatever I wanted to do or not, I'd be mired knee-deep in this matter. Mired. Please help me solve this question surrounding Tomitake-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well. Especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly, and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it! He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began speaking after thinking for a bit. There's a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Please. I don't want Mion to be evil. Come on. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. And how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die of the night of Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First, it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village hold a grudge against die one after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So, the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of the villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? Did she die because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's just a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitake-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is a reason enough. Then, next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the villagers' outside pool? Might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by? I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. Was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then, the next victims, my family. Was he saying I was going to be next? Was going to be me? But, what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the dam protest. Quite fervently so. This was also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I'd heard of her family leading the protest, though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with these string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. Felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That's exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression, seeing that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe in the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reason behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. Oh shit, I did miss that one. Wait, did I? The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers would have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worried over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, as insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya police station? You can call me Kura-chan if you want. Oh no, Oishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click and it streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. And I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mayabara-san. There is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything. But I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Mayabara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy. Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Rena, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitake-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be? They were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that... Oh, god damn it. Oh, god. Log. If they were hiding somewhere, I don't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's me, John, the perpetrator. Huh? I started to hear Rena's voice. With the rope in the, lounge. Wahaha. Nope. No! Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here. Wow. Ah! Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for your bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. If I remembered right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points. The heck? Her score is lower than mine and I wasn't even playing. See, I told you! You don't even have to fucking play. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone or by both Kei-chan and Rena. Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know? I'm sorry about that. I don't fucking plan on losing. See, just keep your hand out. I followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it! The murderer is me! With the poison at the entrance. Is it? My Rena. Quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh. Rena's correct. Oh, then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. Damn it. It's my fault, so I have to no choice. Then that's the game. It's me, Mio and Sonozaki, ranked first. And dead last are Keiichi Maebara and Rena Ryugu. Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy? I wonder. Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Well, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? Looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Me was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. What the fuck? We skipped 654. Cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks. This is just your grocery list. I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy her hemorrhoid cream. Oh, that's brutal. You know she'll just fucking turn it on you and say, oh, I guess you need some, Keiichi. Or that while buying it, she'll just say, yeah, Keiichi needs this. He's just too nervous to buy it himself. You know, something to backfire on. For perpetrators, search notice. Hey, new tips. Not a clue. Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails. Not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also matches. Yeah. I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. I've never fucking done that. God, how bad have you fucking scratched yourself? Jesus. Some of Tomitake's fingernails have been pulled out. Oh, it's quite simple to pull out one's nails. No, it's not. But it really hurts. That doesn't mean it's simple. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, there are a lot of bruises on Tomitake's body. clear from the shape of them and that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. It is possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, there are very rare cases. Actually, Oishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon. They only found sand and paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be that they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. That's true. Tomitake-san's pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He's pretty active. Can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side. Meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. The man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly. He he definitely would have hit someone. It's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. This guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. To surround and take down someone of his own physique, I wonder how many people it would take. Yeah, dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? Yeah, I have no idea who's talking besides Oishi. If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down a big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators. So any drunk and disorderly groups or more than 4 are suspicious. A group of 4 or more. Just, if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. It's under serious consideration on my end, too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. Not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Oishi-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks. See you around. Yeah. Best wishes. Strange. This fucking thing is so strange. Jiro Tomitake deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Registered under the name Jiro Tomitake. Pen name. It's greater than pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police, located afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located or among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence. Yeah, it wasn't a robbery. From the contents of the wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Shibuya. Chiba. Among the Sobu National Railway line. No individual matching the name Jiro Tomitake in the registry records of any of the Tokyo wards. Strange. What the fuck? That means that's not his real name. Compare teeth to dental records. Send to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Send to Metro Police. Collect magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. He came close to Tomitake through her passion of wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya District. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds, currently missing. Abducted? Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate the relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. Or jumbo ones. Oishi. Thank you, Oishi. Jesus. Okay, let's go ahead and fucking save this. This is getting fucking weird as shit, though. Like, legitimately, this is getting some of the weirdest shit I've ever read. I think it's getting really weird.